And talk about it I will. Rookie wasting no time getting some revenge there for Team Ice, but it's time to move on to our 7th battle of the evening. Spawning on the blue side for Team Fire, two-time world champion contender, the top trickster himself, it's Westdoor! And his opponent on the red side for Team Ice, representing the Commonwealth of Independent States, he's here to be the Door's next kryptonite. It's LeX! Gentlemen, let's get in there and have a GG.
And here we go, ready to kick this one off. The 7th 1v1 we've got going today. And if there's one thing I love watching, it's Westdoor trying to 1v1 people.
Yeah, I just hope that unlike the Batman vs. Superman trailer, we haven't spoiled everything in the preview to this matchup, because I don't think LeX is going to do too hot here. So, I mean, at this point, Westdoor, he's used to his 1v1s. You know, LeX, his champion pool is not the Lucian Caitlyn. He plays Trist, he plays Vayne.
He did play Lucian, though.
He did.
But he may not get a chance this time. We've been seeing it banned hot and heavy here. Caitlyn's going to be taken off the board by Westdoor right away. And there is the Fizz ban. LeX says, no, you're not going to do that to me.
No, he's like, I could just play 80 carries into it, but fine, I'll just get rid of it. Don't want you to pick it. Don't give you your moment in the sun. Yeah. Or in the moon, I guess.
That's the look that just, oh, wait, that was banned? Okay. Well, you know, he's still got some options on the board. There's the Morgana banned away. That's an interesting choice.
Westdoor's like, Fizz is out, can I play TF? Is TF good in this game mode?
His Zed is still out.
So I actually would be interested to see him pick TF here. Lulu out as well.
There's a Lucian taken off as well.
And as you said, Zed is available. So will
so
we
is
see...
Kindred. But
Don't,
get picked
no,
up.
LeX don't.
He did this before, didn't he?
Okay, so at this point, Westdoor either goes something like a Twisted Fate, something with range. Like, oh, Kindred is available.
Yeah, he picks it up.
So
it's a quick pickup.
I like that.
Plays a bit like the
Kindred
Kalista,
has
too.
Been locked in. It is more effective than Kalista as well, because Kindred actually has all of her abilities available.
Yes, there.
So there.
It's plural.
Yes,
it's a plural
thank you very much.
Grass.
Lem and Wolf. It is plural.
And it is going to be a LeBlanc lock-in. First, we're going to see this side of the 1v1.
Also plural when the passive pops.
Very true.
I don't know where I was going with that other than that. I'm kind of...
It's okay, let's move on somewhere else. Classic misdirection. The Ignite locked in, though, too. We've got a few more seconds before that could possibly be changed. I don't see that happening, though. It's pretty much like Westdoor's, like, Spirit Summoner spell.
I'm a little surprised at the Morg ban.
Yeah, it was a bit odd. It was a bit odd, wasn't it?
She's not the best at 1v1s. I mean, you can just shove Tormented Soil down and just constantly
you can
push
pretty much CS for days as long as you don't
You can. It's not really a LeX champion. I mean, I know CIS played a little bit of Morg, IWCA, but that was in 5v5s, not in the 1 versus 1.
Maybe he was watching the wrong VODs.
Why are there 5 people on this 1 versus 1?
That's okay. Westdoor, you know, he still managed to get his hands on an assassin. We know that he just loves these to death, and him playing LeBlanc, I think, is a scary, scary thing, even up against Kindred. However, you can't get too close to the Wolf's Frenzy, because that is a very, very powerful tool in this 1v1 as we load up once again for the 7th time today onto the Howling Abyss. Westdoor on LeBlanc, Team Fire representing, taking on the Kindred of LeX.
I really wanted to see Doran's Blade LeBlanc. This is something that, you know, we were talking about.
You want AD on everything.
Just go AD to begin the game. It's so strong.
Oh, going in. There we go. Very quick Wolf's
Look
Frenzy.
at that trade.
Look
at that disgusting trade.
Oh, and a manner spam. He's a happy camper.
Ugh, it's disgusting. I mean, it's not like AD would have done too much more for Westdoor in that situation. He would have a little bit more damage that LeX just would have gone straight back, so it's not that big of a difference, but still, LeX is going to have an insane amount of damage in this early game.
Yeah. And he's showing why he didn't take the Ignite either. He really just doesn't need it to dish out a whole lot. He can just wait for Westdoor to go for the all-in and just outfight him in the zone. Westdoor's back. Clears away the ward, though.
Westdoor's picked up the sweeper. He's like, no, you don't get map control. You are never having map control at this point. So, good on you, Westdoor. Changing the meta.
Vision denial.
Yeah,
what he's all about. LeX is going to go jump for him, though. Force him back away from the minions.
You know, the other thing that makes Kindred really strong on 1 versus 1. Not only is it just her kit and how good it is, just outputting damage early, and the ultimate that keeps you alive. Keep in mind, with Grasp of the Undying, plus the E ability that is going to come from LeX, that third proc, where you get health back, plus you have Grasp of the Undying, you get health back. Everything around LeX's kit is about getting health back and dealing a lot of damage in return. So the masteries play into LeX's favor as well.
Westdoor is definitely going to have his work cut out for him here. He's got some juicy farm that he's trying to pick up, but there is a lead already for the CIS AD carry. He's going to back off, give Westdoor a little bit of room to start working this one. Level 2s all around, but LeX should be able to counter-engage anytime he wants. A little bit more damage, does trade back, and he steps out of the Wolf's Frenzy. That was actually a good trade for the door.
Yeah, that was a good trade. That was a really good trade, and LeX was taking damage from the cannon minion there as well, so even at the end of that little trade, LeX was still taking damage. And that puts Westdoor a fair amount ahead. LeX, his health on test one isn't going to go for it.
He might need to now, though. Another good trade for Westdoor, as he's just able to jump out of the Wolf's Frenzy just outside the zone. LeX could not return fire onto him as effectively, but he will be all right. Not muching the biscuit, but he's getting the health back, as Westdoor has to do that himself.
And very difficult for LeX, actually, to read Westdoor's aggression attempts using distortion just to get himself in. So LeX has to be careful, but Westdoor cannot really step inside that zone. Ooh, gets the passive.
Yeah, LeX definitely took the good trade there, and he has a slight level advantage. Westdoor needs just a few more ticks on the experience bar to be able to match that one, but for the moment, LeX has the advantage.
Yeah, LeX has, well, both of them both have summoners up, but health potion still on for LeX. Everything is about the sustain game. 22 CS up to against 16 right now. There are a few minions extra in that wave for Westdoor as it pushes in, and Westdoor does manage to get that first one. These back minions are pretty easy to get. It's just one tower hit, one auto attack.
LeX is controlling this health shrine, though, and he manages to pick that up right as it respawns. 3.5 minutes into this game here. Westdoor has evened up the level game, but he's still behind in the CS department and just goes up. I completely missed that. I thought it went up earlier.
75, so you're looking at 230 and then 345
I was
at
reading
the easy
the
telegraph.
Grasp of the Undying. Funny enough, they look a little similar when it goes back to you.
A little bit.
I got you.
Right.
That's what happened right there, Strap.
Yeah, you did.
So
But
Malice
it's okay.
jumping in, a little bit more damage. Not too much, though.
Not too much, but you can see Westdoor is trying to just stay up, keep the CS as close as he can right now. LeX is focused just on getting to that 100 mark. No real way right now for Westdoor to do too much. When he hits 6, may decide to go all in, or at least throw out like a double distortion onto LeX. See if he can land the chains. That really is going to be what is the indicator for Westdoor to see whether he can actually go aggressive, is if one of those chains lands. But Westdoor back to farming under tower.
It's pretty much what he's been having to do since the start of this game, but we definitely could be in for a longer one if LeX sticks to that CS strategy. He has the advantage of about 6 minions right now. They make that 7. Throws down the domain, or the frenzy, I should say, and Westdoor takes a lot of it, but he's able to throw the chains down, gets the stun up. LeX does not have the minion aggro, though, and he's not too worried about that.
Yeah, not worried right now. LeX actually going to have to back away and pick up his own health relic, so now he's got 2 very different timers to keep track of. Doesn't pressure out Westdoor's. I think LeX actually could have played that very differently and tried to push Westdoor back for his health relic rather than LeX peeling back to go for the defensive one. But LeX does hit 6 first. Westdoor still a little way away from that level 6. Does manage to hit.
Westdoor has to ult himself away as well. Unfortunate. LeX doesn't have too much mana, but he's hung onto his ultimate, hung onto his summoner spells, and he has got a lot in his pocket with this mini wave sending crashing towards the tower.
And at this point, you can see LeX pretty much out of mana. Westdoor has enough for about 2-3 spells to come out, so he can kind of force LeX back. LeX should just have enough for his ultimate to keep himself alive. Also has barrier to keep himself alive as well. So as soon as Westdoor goes in, if LeX feels like the trade is winnable for himself and actually would win him the game, just hits that exhaust, hits that barrier, and trades against Westdoor. The only problem with that is Westdoor goes instantly back to his initial position, and then you just wasted 2 summoners. So LeX has to be careful on exactly when he reads Westdoor's order.
Jumps in, gets some arrows. Westdoor's going to go for it. That is a massive burst. He's going to get some back, but a great trade for Westdoor.
And there you can see, LeX knows Westdoor isn't going to kill him, so can't afford to use his summoners. He has to hold on to them and just hope that Westdoor doesn't go for the all-in right after the first one. LeX does pick up the health relic, so we'll pick that up, be able to go back. Does still have 10 CS in the lead, so Westdoor will be slower on the recall and won't be able to make up the CS difference here, but Westdoor is just going to have to shove this into tower. It's a cannon wave, though, so that isn't going to happen anytime soon. So LeX will come out ahead from this little minion push trade that's going on here.
It does give Westdoor a little bit of an opportunity to grab some of the minions, reclaim the CS differential as he jumps forward, pushes that one in. Unfortunately, LeX is just about due to arrive, and that means he will be able to pick up a bit of this. One, maybe two, nope, not even. There goes the cannon over to LeX. Continues his lead, continues growing it. As Westdoor's had to back away, let's see what he does go ahead and pick up. Not quite enough for the Morellonomicon.
Yeah, still a way away from that Morellonomicon right now. You can see he does pick up a couple of health potions to go alongside the parts of the Morellos. Hex Drinker on the side of LeX is going to keep him pretty healthy here.
It's a sustained battle, that's what we're in for.
It is. I just wonder, can Westdoor actually burst LeX down with these items? I'm looking at it.
It's going to be hard with the Hex Drinker shield, though.
Yeah.
That's the really difficult thing. And he's going to go ahead and start trading. Not too much traded back. He even avoids some of the minion damage. And LeX will be able to return a little bit of health to himself thanks to the Grasp of the Undying, but Westdoor just, the threat is ever present. This guy is just so dangerous when you give him an assassin.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to read the damage that Westdoor has. The first distortion did about 200.
That one did a bit more.
Now he goes all in.
There's the Wolf's Frenzy. The chains are on. It's going to be stunning up, and he takes a good trade against LeX, but LeX is going to try to get a little bit more back as the Sigil of Malice flies in his face.
Oh, LeX is having to just make really tough decisions here because LeX has to basically wait for Westdoor to use his summoners before he can react. Then LeX uses his in response, and the cooldowns are basically the same.
Westdoor
no summoners yet. There's the exhaust.
Double exhaust is down. Westdoor, the clone's ahead of him, and he has to back away. LeX wins that one handily, and the Ignite's down.
LeX comes up so
wait,
big
baby,
in that trade
not
barrier.
yet. Lamb's Respite instantly staying alive.
And gets the health back from it. Barrier is still available for LeX, so keeping his cool, knowing his ultimate was there.
Still got barrier too.
Yeah, exactly. He has that barrier available, double Dorans, and the Hex Drinker shield was popped. So it's very difficult to kill LeX right now, but
a lot
2 out of his 3 defensive abilities are no longer available. Only that barrier remains. And at this point, LeX just stays in lane. I actually am not too sold on him going back for his health relic there. I mean, he didn't have too much to do there. And sure, it takes it away if Westdoor ever manages to get up there, but I kind of prefer having that available. He will get a little extra mana from it, but he wasn't suffering all that much to begin with, and he hasn't forced Westdoor off his own once again. I'd like to have seen LeX hold the map position and force Westdoor not to be able to pick up his own health relic.
Despite the mistakes, however, he does maintain this very healthy CS lead, about 7 ahead, and that means only 15 minions to go before he can finish the game off with minion style. And with Westdoor having to go back here, it gives LeX another chance to send these minions crashing into the turret. Westdoor is going to try to jump for him, but he's not going to be able to get much there. Just has to double distort his way through to clear the wave.
At this point, Westdoor's best bet was not to push that wave out. Westdoor needed that wave to push towards his turret so that Westdoor could somehow try and drag LeX forward. LeX actually recalled there, and that is going to give Westdoor this wave, so that benefits Westdoor. I'm a little surprised that it let Westdoor basically even CS. Now, if any of these die to this turret, LeX could be in trouble. Westdoor did miss 1 creep off this wave, though.
Yeah, LeX is going to be up here, but...
That's 1 to the turret. So that kind of evens things up.
Just barely. Sigil of Malice not going to do too much. Grasp the Undying will heal it back up. So, all said and done, there's still that 5 CS differential. When it comes to this endgame scenario, that's still giving this advantage to LeX, and Westdoor knows it.
Oh,
he's got to go in, but he misses the combo, taking too much damage. The clone is popped. LeX finds the right one, wants to win it with the kill, but the health relic spawns at exactly the right moment. Nonetheless, LeX is so close to finishing this game. He's got the minions to do it. CS victory at 10 minutes, 50 seconds.
Yeah, that was LeX keeping his cool, keeping himself
staying alive
in this game, and actually now puts another CIS player into the round of 60.
2 out of 3 so far. Not too bad for the International Wildcard All-Star winners as he takes out the door.
Kicks the door down slowly.
Well,
that's basically unscrewing the hinges and like doing it in just the most manual way possible. Takes off the handle, takes off the lock.
Slowly walks away with it.
Yeah. Just I mean, that was a bit of an anticlimactic one, but honestly, Westdoor pushing the wave. Oh, that was painful to watch. I'm not so sold on
mistakes
that.
were made all around, but they'll have some time to review it, look back to it. But for now, we're going to go ahead and send it back to the analyst desk.
Thank you very much, guys. Great casting of those 1 versus 1s. It's All-Star. It's a whole lot of fun. We saw some interesting strategies, some different strategies. I do want to pull up a replay first of the Clearlove Marin kill because the jungle pride, it's still there.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. We can roll the clip out and see what happens. Kobe, you want to run us through this one?
I mean, this is the kill that he gets, so he lands the entire stun.
Well, thank
There's
you.
not much to see there, Brand.
Thank you.
Brand landed all 3 abilities, Freak.
Whoa!
And
Dude,
he
those
ignited.
skill shots!
Kaboom!
Why would you play Lissandra though?
Why would you play either of those
No,
champions?
Brand is good.
Yeah.
Brand is fine. You need something where at level 3 you can all in and you can take someone down. What is Lissandra going to do? Q, ha ha ha, run away. Like
Well,
that's it. You do nothing else.
He had the full wave control. He had the CS lead. Then the jungler goes for the kill, and he gets it. That was the only way, Clearlove is going to come up with that victory.
Because Brand at level 3.
Yeah.
There we go.
I actually like that as soon as Kira took to the stage and played his game, literally every player after him all picked like Marksman and Grasp of the Undying.
Yeah.
And like Dyer said, oh, I didn't really look at it, and like these two did like whatever, but like as soon as that happened, it was like, you're right, that is better. Like as if like they didn't watch IWCA at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Why
a
didn't they
different
prepare
mode,
for the
so.
one-on-one tournament?
Definitely.
What
Just
kind of
to watch
swag
the
is that?
VODs.
Not a lot of the players prepared for this. Some of them did, and you can tell who the ones who did are.
Well, and Kira, again, it's not just that he picks those champions like Caitlyn and Lucian, but the way he moves around the map, he knows exactly when those relics are
got the
spawning. He
timers.
gets in there.
Oh
Yeah.
man, it's great. Yeah.
I mean,
Good to see.
I mean, you can know relic timing. That's not like.
I mean, it's a great throwback because like Russians are known for being like really, really great Quake players, and that game was all about timing items respawning around the map. So Kira's just like keeping the tradition of like Cooler and all these guys alive.
I do think we're going to see him fall, though, because he actually made a lot of mechanical missteps in
sure.
trades that he was taking.
Yeah.
His strategy is unparalleled. That's the strategy to win.
Still.
I mean, what is it? 6-6-18 is the way to go. So as you get all of the sustain that you can possibly get, and then just
Isn't
pick
he
an
running
80 carry.
0, 12, 18?
No, it's 6
No,
18 because
6-6.
He runs
Feast is
6-6.
super important.
Okay,
Feast
so-
and potions
At the
and
wildcard
Grasp of the
tournament, yeah.
Undying. That's how you win in 1
Yeah.
versus 1.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
had the
sustain him.
biscuits at the wildcard tournament for some of the matches.
But
Yeah,
you
well,
do-
that's 6 points in. You can get that anyway.
You do make a good point, though, Kobe, because he does sometimes overstep his boundaries, so maybe people can get him there. Let's take a look at one of the other matchups. Bjergsen versus Smurf, again, a CIS player, and that was a good one. It was Draven up versus Misfortune, and they just got straight into it.
I mean, Draven is going to be one of these 80 carries that if you are really good at playing Draven and have good mechanics, you can pull him out in these one-on-one matches. We can just roll the clip and we can see Bjergsen get early level 2, which is another big deal. The guys who just aggressively push wave at level 1 to get early level 2 will always be able to do this. And it's so hard to trade back, and it's getting close, but under control.
He played it so well, too. He played exactly at turret range. If he takes one turret shot, Bjergsen loses the entire game instead of winning it right there. Also, I was surprised now it makes sense, of course, he learned stand aside at 2 to say, no, I'm going to keep you from getting to your turret as opposed to, like, blood rush to keep up. And it's like, no, this is when I can all in, right on the minion, here we go. I was just a really well-played fight.
Definitely, where they played, and of course, Bjergsen had a little help from a spirit animal there who was helping him before getting into the game.
That weird Danish flag guy,
Oh, wow, what was
Wonder
that?
who that was.
probably Kobe.
He looked pretty buffed.
We gotta say. In any case, that means
Definitely not you.
Exactly, right? That's it.
Still might be Kobe.
It was Kobe.
Tons of damage.
we'll see if it pops up again. In any case, 7 duels down and 7 players have been knocked out. Let's pull up the bracket to see who is still in the competition. And well, that is Fire 3 wins, Ice 4 wins in the 1 versus
Keep
1.
it a tradition.
Oh, wait, no, never mind. Never
What?
mind. No, we're
What?
just going to
What?
move on.
One cool
No.
thing is CIS.
He's actually back down.
Yeah. What is this?
Wait, no, yeah. Karsa beat Bai, so it's really 4-4.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling bad actually.
Man.
After that. Now, in any case, but only the top 4 place players in the entire 1 versus 1 tournament do get the points. But it is, again, 4 wins for Ice, 3 for Fire, even in the 1 versus 1.
I mean, the fact that CIS is coming in and Kira and LeX is winning, like, obviously for them going into the 5-on-5, it would be very difficult by taking on LCK and so on. But, like, the fact they're doing well here is super important for Team Ice, because people are obviously looking at them and saying, what can the wildcard team do? If they can keep this going for top 4, I mean, they got Rookie and Bjergsen the next 2 matches here, so that's obviously going to be very difficult. But beat them, and then suddenly you are doing well.
Wouldn't count them out just yet. We've seen what they can do.
Win,
especially when
suddenly
it
you're
gets-
doing well. What great analysis.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
good
it.
stuff.
That's how it is.
Isn't Rookie on their squad too? He'll get points for Ice.
Oh, true.
So
yeah.
Win-win!
if you lose to the rookie,
That's right. It doesn't even matter. Move on.
All right, a lot of fun here. And as we celebrate the end of the 2015 competitive season, here's a sneak peek at the newest addition to the Challenger lineup that will hit the Rift to kick off 2016. Very beautiful art there.
Looks a bit like Kobe.
Looks a bit like everything.
You're
looks like
just
Kobe
you're
come
constantly
true.
dreaming of me. You're
Yeah.
constantly seeing me and all of the art all across
The fact
the
that I
studio.
got to cast with you for the first 2 games, that was like a dream coming true.
But
You're
you're
welcome.
also you're also the guy that calls the players and everyone else, oh, that's a handsome man, that's a handsome guy. So
Is
only
it
be
wrong?
fitting.
I mean, am I
You're
wrong?
not wrong. You're not wrong.
It's getting a little weird here.
Yeah, it is. So we're going to step away, but don't go anywhere because in just a few minutes, Pulse will reveal our North American big play of the year. And as we go, we'll get a look at some of the skills the LMS's Ole brings up to the Rift as he gears up for the next regional clash.
When I was kinda 10 years old, I just checked television, and then one day I found one guy just play beatboxing. I was, wow, how to do that? I was thinking like, oh, maybe he's doing magic. It's like he just using mouse and he just opened some sound, but actually he didn't use anything and he just used his mouse. And I was really, I really want to play like him, and then I searched many beatbox on internet, and actually I found some video to teach beatbox, and then every day when I go to school, I just try just like this, and then some days later my beatbox was getting better, and then finally I could do very well.